Hi, welcome our dearest student of third prep in our program مدرسة على الهوا. Today we are going to start lesson 1 in unit 4, cell division. Before starting explaining the lesson, we must know what's meant by cell. We have studied the cell in the previous years, and we know that the cell is the smallest building unit of living organism, whether the living organism is plant or animal type. We said that group of cell make tissue, and group of tissue make an organ, and group of organs make the system, and group of the system make the whole body. So the cell is the building functional unit of the body. Okay, our lesson today is called cell division. Okay, let's start cell division. What's meant by cell division? Okay, cell division is a process through which cell divided for growth or reproduction. يبقى the cell make cell division for growth or reproduction. Growth means your hair is growing, your nail is growing, the skin, if you have a wound, it will be repaired. This is what we call the cell division. يبقى definition of cell division, again, process through which cell divided for growth or reproduction, and this is the importance of cell division. Okay, how many cells inside your body? We have two cells inside our body. The first cell we call it somatic cell, and the other is called reproductive cell. يبقى our body consists of two types of cell. The first one is called somatic, and the other one is called reproductive cell. What's the difference between them? The question, compare between somatic and reproductive cell, or what's meant by somatic cell and what's meant by reproductive cell. First, the somatic cell. It is the cell found in all body cell except the reproductive. So the skin is a somatic cell. Your liver is a somatic cell. The lung is somatic cell. Okay? This cell is divided by a type of division is called mitosis division, and we are going to explain it right now. يبقى the somatic cell, it is the cell found in all your body cell except inside the reproductive organ, and it is divided by mitosis. Okay, let's see the reproductive cell. Let's see the reproductive cell. It is the cell inside the reproductive organ. What's the reproductive organ? Testes and ovary in human, anther in plant. يبقى somatic found in all the body except the reproductive organ, and the reproductive inside the reproductive organ. The somatic divided by mitosis, while the reproductive cell is divided by meiosis division. And we are going to explain the difference between two types of division. The somatic cell contains complete number of chromosomes. For example, our body, the human body, consists of 46 chromosomes. Okay, so the somatic cell in our body will be 46 chromosomes, and we call the complete number of chromosome is called diploid or 2n. يبقى what's meant by diploid? Diploid means complete number of chromosome. Example, a human have 46 chromosome. The reproductive cell half the number, and half the number means haploid. Haploid, half the number, and this is the gamete or the reproductive cell. For the human, 46 divided 2, it will be 23 chromosome inside the reproductive cell. يبقى again, somatic, site أو place of the somatic in all the body except the reproductive organ. The site or the place of the reproductive cell, it is inside the reproductive organ, test and ovary in human, anther in the plant. Somatic, how the somatic cell divided? By mitosis. How the reproductive cell divided? By meiosis. Okay, we have to write the words of mitosis, the letters of mitosis and meiosis carefully and not mix up between them. M-I-T-O-S-I-S and meiosis, M-E-I-S-O-S-I-S. This is complete number of chromosome, the somatic, and the reproductive cell is half the number of chromosome. This is diploid, and this is haploid, 2n and n. And n resemble the number of chromosome. Okay. Next, we are going to see what's meant by chromosome. Okay, chromosomes, first the cell consists of nucleus surrounding by cytoplasm and cell membrane. Type. Inside the nucleus there is the genetic material which collect to form chromosomes. The genetic material that's carry the trait of our human body أو living organism. الصفات بتاعت living organism كلها inside the genetic material. طيب. What's the chromosome? First we are going to draw the structure of chromosome. The chromosomes is two threads. Okay, we'll draw. This is the first thread. Okay, and the one of them is called chromatid. Okay, type. And another one. Okay, and another one. So the chromosomes is two chromatid joined from the center by centromere. So this is all called chromosome. يبقى what's the structure of the chromosome? Two thread. Okay, it's look like shape X. This one called chromatid and the other one is called chromatid. Both of them two thread-like shape chromatid joined from the center by a point called centromere. So we can define centromere by point of connection in the chromosome. Okay, and what's the chromatid? They are thread-like shape of the chromosome. Okay, let's see it. Okay, now a chromosome structure consists of two threads connected at centromere point. Each thread is called chromatid. This is the shape of this. ادي one chromatid وادي one chromatid يبقى two chromatid with center joined by centromere. The whole structure is called the chromosome. This is the structure of the chromosome. We have the chemical structure of the chromosome. It's different from its structure. يبقى what's the chemical structure, okay, of chromosome? It's contain DNA and protein. يبقى the chemical structure of the chromosome is DNA and protein. يبقى when he asked the structure of chromosome, it will be two threads of chromatin joined from the center by centromere. طب what's about the chemical structure of the chromosome? It's DNA plus protein. Okay, and we have to know that the chromosome number differ from one species to another. For example, we said that the human 46 chromosome. If I have on your plant or a dog or cat, it have another number of chromosome. يبقى this number is fixed in the same species. All living organisms have their fixed number of chromosome. A human 46. All the human have 46 chromosome. Okay, يبقى fixed number in the same species and different number of chromosome in each species. Okay, next we are going to start the cell division of mitosis. We said what's mitosis? It is the division happened by somatic cell. Again, mitosis, it is the division happened by somatic cell. It is called mitosis, or we called the cell make mitotic division. يبقى mitosis is the mitotic division done by the cell. The occurrence of mitosis, it occurs in all the somatic cell except the reproductive. So the reproductive, we have said that reproductive in the compare that it is divided by meiosis division, and it is totally different from mitosis. يبقى again, somatic cell divided by mitosis division, or the somatic cell makes mitotic division. طيب, what's mitosis? Okay, and what's its the importance? Okay, why the somatic cell make mitosis? Number one, growth of the cell on a living organism, animal or plant. Okay, your hair is growing, your nail is growing, the children grow, so the cell divided by mitosis to increase its number. يبقى the first important of mitosis, growth of living organisms in animal and plant. Number two, compensate the lost part. Okay, if the we have a wound, you have an injury, you cut a part from your skin, the cell will be divided by mitosis to compensate the damage. What's meant by compensate? Replace the injured cell or the cutting skin, damaged cell. Number 3, completing the asexual reproduction, and this is we are going to take it in lesson 2. يبقى again, what's the importance of mitosis? Number 1, growth of. Number 2, compensate the lost part, completing the sexual reproduction. This is the 3 importance of mitosis division. يبقى mitosis is called mitotic division, where it's happened in the somatic cell only. يبقى reproductive, another type of division, we call it meiosis division. Type. What is the importance of mitosis, or why the somatic cell divided by mitosis? For 3 reasons. Number 1, for growth. Number 2, compensate the damage or repairing the damaged cell. Number 3, to complete the asexual reproduction. The asexual reproduction, which are going to take it in lesson 2. Okay? Next, we are going to see what happened before starting the mitosis division. Now, the cell is going to divide it, but before division, the cell passes by a phase called interphase. Mitosis is 4 phases. يبقى الميتوزيس composed of 4 phases. We are going to see it right now, which is prophase, anaphase, metaphase, and telophase. This is the 4 stages of mitosis. Before these stages, يعني before the division of the cell, it undergo a phase called interphase. The interphase is not count from the phases. It's before the division, before the cell is going to divided by mitosis. Type. Why it before dividing by mitosis it undergoes interphase? Why the somatic cell makes interphase before dividing? Let's see. Okay, during interphase, some important and biological process occur to prepare the cell. So the interphase is to prepare the cell for division. يبقى again, the interphase to prepare the cell for division. لسه going to prepare itself. طب how the cell prepare itself? By duplicating the genetic material. It will duplicate the DNA. We said that the genetic material is called DNA. يبقى give reason why the cell undergo interphase before division. أو how the cell of the somatic cell طبعا divided by mitosis it undergo interphase. Because it will prepare itself for division. It will prepare itself for division by duplicating the genetic material, which is a DNA. Okay? This is the structure of the cell. Okay? The outer membrane is called the cell membrane. This is the nucleus. The nucleus contains nuclear membrane from outside. Inside it, there is nucleolus, and all of these are genetic material we called chromatin reticulum. Okay, now we'll start the first phase of division. يبقى D, number 1, we are going to say it. D, not counting from the stages of division. Okay, let's start the stage number 1, prophase. Type. What happened in the prophase? As we see, the nucleus change, okay, and the nucleolus disappear. يبقى step by step كده narrating them. Number 1, chromatin reticulum condenses, then appear in the form of long, thin, and double string chromosome. يعني ايه الكلام ده؟ احنا قلنا ان before division الجيناتيك material in all the nucleus. طيب now the cell is going to be divided. This genetic material collect together forming what we have explained the chromosome structure. يبقى الكروموسوم دوت مش موجود قبل كده من السل. ده formed during the cell division. The chromatin collect together forming the 2-thread chromatid joining من center by centromere, and this structure is called chromosome. يبقى in the first stage, the prophase, number 1, appearance of the chromosomes. Appearance of the chromosomes. Number 2, okay, fiber appear called spindle fiber. what's the spindle fiber? Spindle fibers is a fiber produced from the centrosome. What's the centrosome? Centrosome organelle found in the cell, in the animal cell only. طيب السنتروسوم ده ايه الفانكشن بتاعته؟ produce السبندل فايبر. اوكي؟ يبقى what's the centrosome؟ ده organelle inside the cell producing the spindle fiber. يبقى the centrosome doesn't produce the spindle fiber until the cell go under the first phase, prophase, and start to divide it. Number 3, nucleolus and nuclear membrane disappear. So we can summarize the prophase in 3 points. Appearance of chromosome, appearance of spindle fiber, disappear of nucleolus and nuclear membrane. يبقى again, what happened in the prophase? Appearance of chromosome, appearance of spindle fiber, disappearance of nucleolus and nuclear membrane. يبقى كل الجيناتيك ماتيريال هتبقى inside the cell and in the form of chromosome as we seen in the diagram. Okay, this is the chromosomes بيبتدوا يعملوا condense وبعدين يعملوا لي هنا ايه chromosome. وادي السنتروسوم اهو، كل واحد will go to one pole, one will go to the left and the other will move to the right forming the spindle fiber. اهي this is the fiber او thread like shape. طيب في نوت عندي ان الانيمال سيل السبندل فايبر from the centrosome. طيب the plant cell haven't centrosome. طيب how the spindle fiber formed in the plant cell and there is no centrosome? It is formed from the cytoplasm. يبقى لما اقول لك الاورجن اللي found in the animal cell and not in the plant cell هو السنتروسوم. طيب يبقى how the plant cell forming the spindle fiber, it will form the spindle fiber from the cytoplasm. يبقى the spindle fiber in the animal will comes from centrosome. In the plant cell, it will comes from the cytoplasm itself. And this is the main difference between mitosis in the animal and the plant cell. Again, centrosome found in the animal cell to produce the spindle fiber. طيب will plant cell have no centrosome? يبقى the spindle fiber will be produced directly from the cytoplasm. Direct from the cytoplasm. طيب summarized again the prophase. Prophase we can summarize it in 3 points. Number 1, appearance of chromosome. Number 2, appearance of spindle fiber. Number 3, disappearance of nucleolus and nuclear membrane. This is what happened in the prophase. طيب next stage. Number 2, metaphase. طيب metaphase it is the second stage or the second phase in the mitosis division. طيب what happened? As we see, all the chromosome will arrange along the equator of the cell. What's meant by the equator of the cell? The middle line of the cell. Okay? Each one, as we see, connected من الميد point by centromere هنا. يبقى ادي السنتروسوم produce ادي spindle fiber. Okay? It will make connection by this وهيمسك ده من السنترومير and ده. يبقى what happened in the metaphase? Chromosome arranged in the middle of the cell. Each one will be connected من left والright by spindle fiber. طيب I have a question here. We are going to draw it together. Okay? This diagram. Okay? And this. Okay? هنا centrosome. هنا ده connected كده كده. طيب الكويستشن بقى بيقول ايه؟ what's this phase? What's the type of this phase? Mention the name of this phase. And what happened in this phase? طيب احنا شايفين كلنا ان الكروموسوم in the middle. يبقى middle, don't forget meta phase. What happened in the metaphase? The chromosome arranged in the middle. Arranged in the middle. With each chromosome connected by spindle fiber. السبندل فايبر هنا لو animal cell يبقى جاي من السنتروسوم. وده we call it spindle fiber. يبقى دي stage number 2 أو phase number 2. Spindle fiber, okay, comes from the centrosome, connect each chromosome from the middle من السنتر بتاعه اللي هي centromere, and arrange in the equator. What's meant by the equator? It is the middle of the cell. Okay, this is the phase number 2. طيب نشوف بعد كده what's the phase number 3. The phase number 3 is called anaphase. طيب ana means splitting. Ana means splitting. طيب what happened? Each spindle fiber will shrink. يعني ايه shrink? will decrease, will pull. okay. طيب يبقى انا عندي هنا الانافيز the centromere of the chromosome split from it will be divided into 2 halves من السنتر. okay. so the chromatids separate from each other. طيب احنا قلنا الكروموزوم عباره عن 2 كروماتيد، يبقى لما بعمل له splitting into 2 halves هيبقى 1 chromatid to the right and the other chromatid to the left, و each one okay connected to the spindle fiber which decrease or shrink to pull it in this pool and this pool. طيب in this phase what will happen؟ هلاقي group of chromatid رايحة in one pool و group of chromatid رايحة on the another pool. يبقى centromere of the chromosome split lengthwise يعني into 2 halves. So the chromatids separated from each other. Number 2, spindle fiber begins to shrink, okay, to pull in each pool. 2 identical groups of chromosome are formed in each group. يبقى هنا هيبقى عندي group of chromatid وهنا group of chromatid. يبقى importance of anaphase أو importance of spindle fiber to separate the chromosome into 2 halves. We make 2 identical groups in each pool of the cell. Okay, يبقى we are going to draw it together. This is what we call it anaphase. This is the cell. Okay, the chromosome will be split. This is will be pulled by a spindle fiber, the other one, and this is one and this one. طيب this is one side. The other side يبقى كده عندي ادي pool. الother pool يبقى هعمل splitting. This is the third phase called anaphase. What happened in the anaphase? Splitting of the chromosomes into 2 halves. Splitting of the chromosomes into 2 halves. And how they are split? By shrinking the spindle fiber. This spindle fiber هيعمل ايه؟ pull. It will pull the chromatid للسايد دي والناحية التانية it will pull to the other side. يبقى بقى عندي هنا group to the right والجروب التاني to the left. يبقى سمهم لي into 2 halves each have same number of chromatid. طيب this is the final phase. It's called the telophase. طيب the telophase is opposite to the prophase اللي هي stage number 1. طيب remember كده again البروفيز حصل فيها ايه؟ الكروموزوم appear, الspindle fiber appear and disappearance of nucleolus and nuclear membrane. طيب نعمل بقى الopposite to it. يبقى الكروموزوم will disappear, spindle fiber will disappear and nucleus والnucleolus will appear. يبقى the first phase opposite to the fourth phase. طيب we look together, have a look together. The phase number 4 is called telophase. طيب what's meant by telophase? This is the fourth stage and the last stage in the mitosis division. What happened? Spindle fiber disappear. Nuclear membrane is formed at each pole of the cell to form 2 nuclei. 2 nuclei, one at each pole. اهي ادي هنا الستراكشر. هيبتدي هنا ادي السيل ممبرين اوكي وادي النيوكلير ممبرين. هنا بقى عندي دي الجروب اللي راحت على الليفت سايد ودي الجروب اوف كروماتيد اللي راحت على الرايت سايد. وبعدين يبتدي نيوكلير ممبرين سراوندنج باي نيوكلير ممبرين. الكروموزوم بقى اللي كان كوندنس وعامل لي ثريد لايك شيب will disappear ويدوني في الاخر the result will be 2 identical cell. ادي السيل اهي كروماتين ريتيكولم، وادي النيوكليولس، وادي النيوكلير ممبرين، وادي السنتروسوم رجعوا beside each other بعد ما كان كل واحد على بول. يبقى again what happened in the telophase. Spindle fiber disappear. Nuclear membrane is formed at each pole of the cell, forming two nuclei, one at each pole. At the end of this phase, the cell divided into two new cells, each contain 2n of chromosome. اوكي، يبقى draw together كده مع بعض الميتوزس. ادي الميتوزس، ادي ال1 cell. اوكي، we started 2n. قلنا what's meant by 2n؟ complete number of chromosome. هتعمل division، ال end of mitosis هيجيب لي 2 identical cell 2n and 2n. يبقى الميتوزس produce 2 cell complete number of chromosome. Okay, يبقى this is the starting cell. We start with it to produce 2 identical cell by mitosis having the same number of chromosome. طيب ايه ال importance of mitosis؟ طيب يبقى السيل كده increase in number ليه؟ to increase compensate the damage او عشان الجروث او to complete the asexual reproduction. تمام كده؟ طيب يبقى كده quickly revise again. mitosis division happened where أو site أو place where the mitosis happened. It happens in the somatic cell. And what is the somatic cell? It is the cell found in all our body except in the reproduction. طيب mitosis, before the cell undergo mitosis, it makes mitosis 4 phases. Before the 4 phases begin, the cell makes interphase. طب why the cell make interphase? To prepare itself for division by duplicating the genetic material. Then starting phase number 1, which called prophase. What happened in the prophase? We can summarize into 3 points. Appearance of chromosome, appearance of spindle fiber, disappearance of nuclear membrane and the nucleolus. Phase number 2, we call it metaphase. What happened in the metaphase? The chromosomes arrange in the middle of the cell, or we call it the equator of the cell. And each one is connected from the center by the spindle fiber. يبقى second phase is called metaphase. The chromosomes arrange in the middle, and it called metaphase because they arrange in the middle and each one is connected by a spindle fiber. طيب phase number 3, anaphase. What happened in the anaphase? Each spindle fiber shrink. يعني ايه shrink؟ It will pull. أنا عندي من ال right ومن ال left. Each one will pull the chromosome, splitting it into half. هيقسموا من النص بالظبط. half to the right and half to the. طب half الكروموزوم اسمه ايه؟ كروماتيد. يبقى كروماتيد to the right side and the other chromatid to the left side. Making each group at each pole. يبقى أنا عندي group of chromatid to the right و group of chromatid to the left. After this, the final stage أو the fourth stage which we call it telophase. The telophase opposite to the first stage which prophase. يبقى البروفيز عكس التلوفيز. What happened in the telophase? Disappearance of the chromosome, disappearance of the spindle fiber, then appearance of the nucleolus and nuclear membrane. طيب why the cell make mitosis؟ ايه اللي هيخلي السيل تعمل division وتعمل mitosis؟ For 3 reasons. For growth أو number 2 for repairing the damage or for asexual reproduction. يبقى why the somatic cell تعمل mitosis division أو why the mitosis is important for these 3 reasons. طيب after the mitosis how many cell is obtained? 2 cells. طيب ال 2 cells دول similar ولا different من البيجيننج اوف السيل اللي we started with it، لا similar copy منها، نفس الكروموزوم بنفس الجيناتيك ماتيريال، مفيش any change فيها خالص. يبقى الميتوزس we obtain two identical cell with complete number of chromosome what we call it 2n or diploid. 2n or diploid. طيب now we are on question number 1. write the scientific term. It consists of two chromatids connected together at centromere. Again, what's the structure? We have explained it. Consists of two chromatids connected together at centromere. Okay? Yes, chromosome. Okay, and we draw it. ان الكروموزوم دوت كان two thread like shape. ده الاستراكشر بتاعه. طب قلنا الكيميكال استراكشر بتاعه كان ايه؟ الكيميكال استراكشر بتاعه كان عباره عن دي ان ايه بلس بروتين. طيب السكند question write the scientific term. The nuclear acid that carried the genetic material. ده بقى في الكيميكال استراكشر بتاع الكروموزوم، كان في عندي نيوكلير اسيد وده كاري الجيناتيك ماتيريال اللي هي كل التريت كان اسمه ايه؟ together DNA. Later we are going to know that the DNA we call it deoxyribonucleic acid, and this is found on inside the cell. Okay, تمام. we have a phone call. Okay, سالي من القاهرة، اتفضلي. الو. ايوه يا سالي، اتفضلي.
انا فادي مش سالي.
سالي من القاهرة صح؟
فادي.
اوكي
فادي.
سادي، اتفضلي.
تفهموا منين؟ فادي.
سادي. طيب اتفضلي حضرتك، اتفضلي الكويستشن. الو. اوكي طيب خلاص. we are waiting for your phone call again سادي. اوكي طيب again we'll say again write the scientific term. consists of two chromatids connected together chromosome. طيب the nuclear acid that carries the genetic material is called DNA. طيب phase in which the chromosome migrate to the equator of the cell. طيب قلنا what's meant by the equator. it is which phase the chromosome migrate to the equator of the cell. it is called anaphase. it is called anaphase. طيب now I am going to draw different phases and we'll answer the phases together. This is one of the phases. Okay, and this is okay. I have three phases. Now the question, arrange each of these phases and what's their name. طيب فادي. اوكي طيب we have a phone call. معلش اتفضلوا. الو.
الو.
يس اتفضل.
I want to answer this question.
اتفضلي اتفضل. ايه السؤال؟
picture. لا انا to answer the question on the page.
اوكي فادي اتفضل يا فادي. اوكي معايا. this is the phase what we call it يا فادي.
yes.
يا فادي I'm hearing you. اتفضل.
the first picture.
ايوه.
is metaphase.
metaphase. excellent. اوكي طيب the second one.
second one telophase.
telophase. طب you see one cell or two cells يا فادي؟
sorry prophase.
prophase. very good. prophase. okay the third picture.
anaphase.
anaphase. طب can you arrange these phases يا فادي؟ which happened first?
prophase.
prophase number one. excellent. number two.
metaphase.
metaphase. okay number three.
anaphase. and the fourth is telophase.
And fourth we haven't draw it اللي هي telophase. Excellent فادي. Okay. Any question يا فادي?
No.
You just called to answer the question?
Yes.
Okay, hope to call us again يا فادي. Okay, thank you. Excellent فادي. Okay, good luck. Okay, يبقى like our friend فادي answered the question. Number one, he arranged the diagram and write the name of the diagram. The first diagram was the metaphase, the second diagram was the prophase, and the third diagram is anaphase. طب first phase had البروphase which the spindle fiber appear and the chromosome appear ولسه nuclear membrane is going to disappear. The second phase is metaphase. The spindle fiber, the chromosome arranged in the middle, connected from each side by spindle fiber. The third one is anaphase, splitting of the chromosomes into two halves. Thank you, Fedi. Okay, now we have another question. Give reason. The cell undergo an interphase before mitotic cell division. احنا قلنا دول الفور فيزز بتوعنا. ميتافيز اول حاجه، بروفيز، ميتافيز، انافيز، تيلوفيز. دول الفور ستيجز. يبقى لما اقول ايه هم الستيجز اوف ميتوزس دول الفور فيزز. طيب ايه بقى الانترفيز؟ we said that the interphase is a phase before the division. يبقى مش هقولها من ضمن الستيجز بتاعتي. طيب why it undergo the division by interphase أو starting before the division by interphase. we said it to prepare itself. السل لسه قبل الديفيجن will prepare itself. طيب it will prepare itself ازاي؟ by duplicating the genetic material. يبقى it will duplicate the genetic material. Okay, let's this the answer together. To prepare the cell for division where the amount of DNA duplicate. يبقى to prepare the cell for division where the amount of DNA duplicate. طيب we are going to ask another question. What's the importance of mitosis? Hope we have a phone call to answer this question. What's the importance of mitosis? Okay, we have a phone call. لوجين، اتفضلي. لوجين من القاهرة، اتفضلي يا لوجين. لوجين، الو لوجين.
I just wanted to ask something about the last question in Write the Scientific Term.
اتفضلي.
The last question in Write the Scientific Term was the phase that the chromosomes are arranged in the cell equator.
Yes.
Okay, the answer was written anaphase. Wasn't it supposed to be metaphase?
No, the answer is when the chromosome arranged in the middle of the cell is called metaphase. Okay. Anaphase is splitting of the chromosome into two halves.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, I know, but because it was written on the screen anaphase.
Okay, it's metaphase يا لوجي. Okay, metaphase. يبقى metaphase arranged in the equator. يعني in the middle of the cell. anaphase splitting into two halves. Okay, لوجي. Thank you. طب لوجي can you answer?
I want to answer the question.
You want to answer the question? اتفضلي يا لوجي. Okay, اتفضلي. What's the importance of mitosis? اتفضلي.
Compensating the damaged cells.
يبقى number one, compensate.
The damaged cells.
Compensate damaged cells. Excellent, Luigi. Okay, number two.
The asexual reproduction.
Okay, for asexual reproduction.
For growth.
Number three, growth. Okay, excellent, Luigi. Thank you for your cooperation with us, and wish you all best of luck, inshallah. Okay, Lujay. Okay, have you any other question, Lujay?
No, thank
you. Okay, thank you, Luigi. Okay, welcome. طيب يبقى again what's the importance of mitosis? Number 1 compensate the damaged cell. Number 2 complete the asexual reproduction. And number 3 for growth. Okay. طيب again because there is a mixing between metaphase and anaphase. Metaphase, the cell arranged in the middle. Okay, so you cannot mix between them. M begins in the metaphase, middle in start with M also. يبقى metaphase الchromosomes arranged in the middle. While anaphase splitting of the chromosomes. Splitting of the chromosomes. Okay. طيب we have another question. Okay, and waiting for your phone calls to answer with us. Okay, compare between somatic cells and reproductive cell. Okay, again compare between somatic cell and reproductive cell. Okay, waiting for your phone calls for answer. طيب we'll continue our give reason. Okay, number 1 قلنا give reason. The cell undergoes an interphase before mitotic cell division. Why the cell goes mitotic division by interphase? To prepare the cell for division where the amount of DNA duplicate. So we are duplicating the amount of DNA and when it's splitting, so each of the cell have same number of chromosome. Okay. Next, spindle fiber shrink during the anaphase. طيب give reason. Spindle fibers shrink during anaphase. Why during the anaphase the spindle fiber shrink? طيب الانافيز دي الثيرد ستيج. What happened during the anaphase? الكروموزوم بيحصل لهم سبليتنج. طيب ايه اللي بيخليهم يحصل لهم سبليتنج؟ ان السبندل فايبر shrink يعني pull. We divided them into 2 halves, each half in one pole of the cell. Okay, let's see the answer. يبقى to form 2 identical group of chromosome at each pole. يبقى why the spindle fibers shrink during the anaphase? To form 2 identical groups of chromosome at each pole of the cell. وكل جروب من دول will be surrounding by nucleus membrane, and the nucleolus will appear and become 2 types of cell. طيب let's return for our question. What's the difference between somatic cell and reproductive cell? طيب number 1 is somatic in all body. طيب ايه هو in all body؟ يعني in skin, in organs, all the organs. In the heart is the somatic cell. The skin is a somatic cell. The bones is a somatic cell. طيب reproductive cell found فين؟ in ovary, female, testes, male. طيب anther in plant. ده I will compare. Number 2 somatic cell divided by mitosis, which we have explained it right now. والسوات الميتوزس ده اللي هو بيجيب لي 2 cell have the same number of chromosome. طيب reproductive cell divided by meiosis. Okay, be careful with the spelling. طيب الميوزس we are going to see that it will produce إن شاء الله next episode 4 cells containing half a number of chromosome. طيب number 3 السوماتيك cell. احنا قلنا in all body cell، قلنا in mitosis. طيب الجيناتيك ماتيريال فيها ايه؟ هنا complete يعني 2n. يبقى what's meant by 2n؟ diploid. طيب يبقى أنا عندي كده write the scientific term cell contain complete number of chromosome. هتبقى الانسر somatic cell. طيب what's meant by diploid number of chromosome؟ يعني complete number of chromosome. طيب number 3 هنا reproductive cell half number يعني n. what we call it haploid. يبقى write the scientific term. Cell found inside the ovary and the testes only. يبقى اسمها ايه؟ reproductive cell. Write the scientific term. Haploid cell, which means have half a number of chromosome. We call it reproductive cell. Okay? طيب. We are going to summarize our episode for today. Okay? We started by what's meant by cell division. Cell division means process the cell undergo to make growth or reproduction. يبقى ده التايتل بتاعنا why the cell make division يبقى for growth or reproduction. طيب how many cell found inside the human body? Two types of cell, somatic and reproductive. What's the difference between the somatic cell and the reproductive cell, or compare between somatic and reproductive cell? The somatic found in all the body cell. يبقى لما اقول skin تبقى somatic, lung somatic, bones somatic. طيب reproductive cell found inside the reproductive organ. Inside the reproductive organ to produce اللي هي السل reproductive cell اللي هي الأوفا أو السبرم اللي inside the reproductive organ وديت half a number of chromosome or haploid. طيب السوماتيك cell complete number of chromosome. Somatic cell divided by mitosis while reproductive cell divided by meiosis division. This is the compare between somatic and the reproductive cell. طيب before the cell division what happened? It undergoes interphase. What's mean by interphase? Phase the cell prepare itself for division. يبقى ايه importance of interphase? Cell how it prepare itself for division by duplicating the genetic material. طيب starting بقى بالphases of mitosis there are 4 phases. Prophase, metaphase, anaphase and telophase. يبقى what are the phases of mitosis? Prophase, metaphase, anaphase and telophase. Inshallah next episode we are going to explain the meiosis division of reproductive cell. Wishing all my students best of luck until we meet next episode. Thank you and goodbye.